All right, so we're just going to be doing this really cool little project. This is actually my name, and then we have our letters are going to be written in a very specific way. They're actually going to be written very large, so we will be drawing our letters, and they will be going from top to bottom, and they will be touching because we will need spaces for patterns and design. So do you see how this automatically gives us these really cool puzzle piece, all these little puzzle pieces to add all kinds of different patterns and designs that we will be using oil pastels. Really cool fluorescent oil pastels. And then next week we'll watercolor it with watercolor, and we'll do a watercolor resist so that oil pastel will come right through and you should have something that looks really cool. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to have your paper hot dog. And if you notice here, I need 3 sections. So in order to get those 3, it don't have to be perfect, but we do kind of want them evenly divided. So the easiest way to do that is we are going to be using our little ink daubers, so just be very careful with these. Don't squeeze them. There's a little sponge on the end of them, and when you flip it over and you press gently, that's what releases the ink. So don't squeeze and don't press too hard, or you're going to end up with little ink puddles. And also, it's the only thing that won't come out of your clothes, so make sure you're very, very careful using these. All right, so in order to get those 3 perfect sections without actually having to do all that measuring, I'm going to come to about the middle of my page. And what I'm going to do is I will divide from the middle to the end. I'm going to divide that in half. I'm going to pretend like it's one piece of paper, and I'm going to divide it in half. And then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. I'm going to come to the middle, about the middle, come to the end, and I'm going to pretend like that's one piece of paper here, and I'm just going to divide that in the middle. So I will come to about the middle of the page, and from here to here, about the middle would be here, right? So I'm going to do like a curved line. Now again, you might want to just kind of gently press, get it activated, get it filled with ink in there, and then you're just going to do like a curved line. Okay? Again, about the middle of my page, and from, let's see, from the bottom to here, about the middle is probably going to be about here. All right, so that's good enough. Okay, so I probably could have come down a little bit with the top one, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just need some sections. So this part in here will be my biggest section. All right, so now I'm going to do the letters of my name, but before I begin, I know I usually tell you we don't do math in here, but we're going to have to do a little bit of math. Okay, so what you're going to do, in order to know, we want to try to get as evenly as possible the letters in each section. So I'm going to add up every single letter of my name. And in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. My number is 12. And I have to divide it by 3, right? Because I have 3 sections. So I'm going to take my number. And if you have to do this on the back, if you can't do it in your head, that's okay. Do it on the back of your paper. We will be dividing by 3. And then the number of letters in your name will go in the middle. Well, I know that 3 will go into 12 4 times, right? So I will have about 4 letters in every single box. And if you notice, I didn't here, but you can do it that way or not. You just need to make sure that all of your letters fit. So I think I'm going to do it that way just because that's perfect. That is a perfect amount. And if you notice, I have very specific ways to do your letters. So make sure that you look at this, and you're going to be drawing letters today. We're not writing our letters. We're drawing them. We're copying what we see. So the very first letter is a B. So I'm going to go from the very top all the way to the tippy bottom. and I'm going to make a B. My next letter is O. My O has to bump, it's got to bump into my B, and it's got to go from top to bottom. Okay, I have an N, and again, it's going to have to touch, and it's going to have to go from top to bottom. It's got to touch. I have another N, so I got to make it. So that's my 4 letters up at the top. That's going to be a cool little design. I've got an I from top to bottom. I have an I. These are all capital letters too. E, it's got to touch. Bonnie, and then a Rucker, I'm going to touch. I got to bring that E because it's all got to touch. And I need 4 letters, right? R, my U, so my U can go out pretty big, right? It's got to touch from top to bottom. And then I need a C, a K, it's got to touch. And I'm going a little fast. You probably want to go a little slower here. And then E, and I can actually make my E a little big. I only have 1 more letter, so. And it's got to touch. So again, I can make my R pretty big because it's my last letter. I'm going to go all the way to the end. So I've got these really nice sections to go in and add all of my patterns and designs. I'll have some idea sheets out as well for you to do whatever patterns that you want to do on the inside. And you want to use different colors. You can use vertical lines, diagonal lines, polka dots, swirls. So be creative in each one of your little sections, and you should have something that looks about like this. I have all different things, and like I said, I'll have some other little design sheets for you to look at to give you ideas. And then when you're done with this, make sure your name is on the back and turn it in, because next week we will be watercoloring them. All right, have fun.